Once upon the midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently roughing and rapping at my chamber door.
It's some visitor
I muttered,
tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
oh, distinctly I remember, 'twas in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
Friends, it's some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some like visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This isn't nothing.
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer.
Sir,
Said I,
or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is always napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that scarce was sure I heard you.
here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering long, I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word.
They are
This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word,
Lenore.
merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber, turning all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before.
Surely,
Said I,
surely there's something at my window as. Let me see, then what there is, and this mystery explored. Will my heart be still a moment, and then this mystery explored? It's the wind and nothing more.
open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped, or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smile by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore.
Will the crest be shorn, and the shade and foul?
Said I,
Sheer no cream, lastly grown, ancient, raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what the lordly man is on the night's Plutonian shore.
quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
much I marvelled this ungainly foal to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered,
Other friends have longed before. On the morrow he will leave mine. My hopes have long before.
then the bird said,
Nevermore.
startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I,
But it butters as its only stock of store. Up from sun, my happy master, whom and merciful disaster followed fast, hung faster, till his songs unborn burden bore, till the dirges of his hope, that melancholy burden bore, of never, never more.
but the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smile. Straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking I betook myself to linking Fancy unto fancy, thinking, what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I set engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the foal whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamp light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamp light gloating o'er she shall press it nevermore.
Prophet,
Said I.
Think of evil, prophet still birdward, devil. By that heaven that bends above, and by that God we both adore, hell the soul with sorrow laden it within the distant head, and it shall clasp the sainted maiden whom the angels named Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore.
Quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Prophet,
Said I.
King of evil, prophet still of bard or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed the year and shore, desolate at all undaunted, all this desert land enchanted, all this home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in daily, and tell, I implore.
Quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend.
I shrieked up, starting.
Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that light thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thee deep from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.